You're never gonna see this on any mainstream news.
This ain't what you want, this is what you need.
Can't never forget.
Yeah, they made us slaves, hung our kids from trees.
I never forget.
Nooses on our neck, whipped us till we bleed.
And they gotta get it.
Hey man, call it Galatians 3:13.
Woo.
You're now tuned in to Precept Upon Precept.
Crew so strange. Look at how low they hang. Oh man, took out the chains. So when the wind blow, we just swing. Much oppression, never killer. Drinking dreams and it's bitter. Ready, set, pull the trigger. Send a postcard, pick a nigga.
Israel United in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a non-violent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat as stated in Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1.
Hey, shalom, y'all. Welcome to another edition, Precept Upon Precept. We are your hosts. My name is Captain Shem, y'all.
Officer Micah.
Officer Solomon.
Hey, since you're right there, Solomon. Oh, here we go. Officer Michael, we got to plug the Booster Club. It's like repetition. Donate text GIV to 646-982-3858. Or you can take your phone out. We'll give you a couple of seconds. Expand. Take a picture of that PayPal icon. And if you, as a little move of your spirit, please donate to the Booster Club so we can continue to do many hundreds and hundreds of missions throughout the four corners of the earth. So, like we do every precept upon precept, this is the late night show, y'all. We understand it's late. We understand we're tired. You're tired. Stick around with us and share this link. We always start the show with Officer Micah and the Watchman Report. Take it away.
Hey, shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ. Bless. All praises to the Most High for another show. Let's get right to it. So listen to this. Trump hails very good meetings in Qatar as indirect negotiations resume. Notice it says indirect negotiations. Yeah, go up a little bit. Read a little bit. What to know about the Iran war today? President Trump said there was progress. Progress Wednesday as U.S. and Iranian officials resume talks in Qatar via mediator. Tell reporters the denuclearization of Iran is moving out along well. It's going well. Hey, things are going well. They're going well. All right, next article. That's how he talk. Things are going to be great. Everything's great. Y'all know how he do it. And then on the flip side, no expected moms at the border. Trump's birthright plan B. So if you are pregnant and you trying to be a U.S. citizen, pause. MAGA, make America great again. He is not having it. He said he's blocking pregnant foreign women from entering the U.S. That's right. You can read it right there. That's his plan. You can't make this stuff up. Why it matters. The proposal would open a new immigration battle over pregnancy, travel, and citizenship, shifting the conversation from challenging the rights of children born in the U.S. to restricting who can enter the country. So not only is he working to deport Haitians, Levi, he's saying you can't come in if you pregnant. So you better drop that baby, then maybe you can come in. Next article, please. New autopsy of baby killed by police in Mississippi deepens outrage. So this was something that occurred in, what's the name of that place? It's up in Mississippi. Sanatopia. That's how you put it. I think that's the correct way to pronounce it. A 1-year-old child was shot in a Walmart parking lot. This was tragic. So they did an autopsy, and the family, of the 1-year-old child was killed by an officer fired on a car challenging police claims. This is a tough situation. We never want to see stuff like this happen to our people. Next article, please. U.S. service member arrested. Hold up. That's the Air Force. Arrested at Capitol after calling for Trump's impeachment. They are divided, y'all. Look at that. Let me read that. Scroll up. Let's see what his rank was. A U.S. Air Force major, that's right, a commissioned officer, was arrested on the steps of the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday after delivering a speech calling for the impeachment and removal of President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. How about that? He said, look, he want the commander-in-chief gone and his assistant, he want him gone as well. The arrest of Jason Watson occurred after he spoke at a news conference organized by Removal Coalition, the grassroots activist group said. During the news conference, Washington identified himself as an active duty service member and wore a military uniform. Democratic Republican Al Green of Texas also attended the event. So he wore his service uniform and said, look, I want the president and the Vice President J.D. Vance removed out of office. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. Next article. I think that was it. All right. That's the last one. All right. This concludes the Watchman Report.
You are now flying.
One, two. All right, shalom, y'all. Thank you. Welcome back, Precept upon Precept. So tonight we have the thumbnail, the divided dragon and the Aipac Wedge. So it's going to be, this is interesting. So Officer Mikael, tell us about the visual thumbnail, and then I think you may have something, a mini movie.
Yes, sir. And the thumbnail is exactly what it says, the divided dragon. As you can see, we got the red dragon with the 7 heads. He's actually split down the middle, and it's the Aipac Wedge. As you can see, there's a big wedge with Aipac written on it. And you can also see the street is divided, separating the people like it's an earthquake going on, and it's headed toward the Capitol building. And in the back, you got those ominous storm clouds because it is an ominous storm coming.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I like about it. If you look there onto the lower right-hand side, you see that there's a parting, like a opening of the earth with fire. And on the left side, it's Israel, stand with Israel. And then the right side, you start to see a lot more. Esau is like, end it, get out of Palestine, free the Palestinian. What's going on is genocide. And so tonight you're going to see that there are more and more people standing up. And in the background, where the dragons are at, you can see there's a China flag. There's the Republican and Democrat. And then you also have the alleged gay pride flag, which we know that's the symbol of the rainbow. You got a crown on one, and so just different. And you got the Islam flag on one of the dragons. It's all divided up. So this is really well done. AI, the formula y'all use is excellent. Can we see the movie? Okay, tonight we got a tech team with short one major tech guy. praises. Check that out. Excellent work. Excellent work, y'all. Great job. Make it on your whole department. I know there's other people. I think some sisters, do they help with this, some of that too?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
So
we got
shout
some
out to
sisters
the
helping
men
out.
and women that are 6 months ago. We wouldn't even imagine this. So all praise. We got a lot to cover. We won't get through it all tonight. Let's start with number one. I want to show you, number one, please. I'd like to show all of us the character. I think it's, yes, number one. So this is, they call him a Tin Hat Club. Alex Jones. You heard of Alex Jones. He's very popular. This is Alex Jones almost 25 years ago calling out Israel. And this is why he was always unpopular, because he was always, for many years, decades, he was talking about that the Israelis were not who they were claiming to be. So play number one. It's a Facebook.
Because it caught the radio chatter of them killing thousands of Palestinian children during that invasion, and they torpedoed it as they begged for hours on the radio, and LBJ sat there at
Pause.
63.
So now I tried to find the actual video. So this is an Edomite woman, and all she does is just point. But this is Alex Jones. He was talking that he's insinuating that the Israelis were involved in 9/11 because he was talking about then about the U.S. liberty. If you rewind it, we covered that in 1967. Remember that? Yep. Watch what he's calling that out about what the Israeli military did years ago, 25 years ago. It's no wonder why he caught all the hell he caught. Remember, he was getting fined, he was getting sued because he was telling the truth. Play it again.
They're slaughtering innocent people, and I'm sick of worshiping Israel. Did you know back in the 1960s they bombed the USS Liberty knowing it was one of our ships because it caught the radio chatter of them killing thousands of Palestinian children during that invasion?
Pause. So the reason, now check this out. So it caught the radio communication of them in the act of killing Palestinian children. Now, is that credible? Now it's credible. They just killed over 100,000. Later on in the show, we're going to show you some of the heinous, atrocious, genocidal maniac acts and the proof thereof. So Alex Jones was right, and they called him a quack back then. They said he was an anti-Semite, but he was on point. Go ahead, that was Mike.
Yeah, it was a video we saw. I don't know if it was Bishop Yalsop or Bishop Thing. They brought it out in one of the classes. Someone interviewed one of the Israeli soldiers, and he said he lost count of how many Palestinians that he just murdered.
The old dude, right?
It was old dude. I should have looked for it, but he was just bringing it out and he was like laughing about it, like it was no big deal.
The IDF, the Israeli military, are the world's worst terrorists, and Alex Jones was calling it out. And so in the background, you can see. Now I think that was 2001, so that was September 11th. You could see the background of the tower. That's when everyone was covering the towers. And he has every reason to believe the Israelis could have been involved because they tried to sink the USS Liberty. And when they actually fired torpedoes, they called them reinforcements. Lyndon B. Johnson called and said, no, don't go help them. Luckily, they had a crew that helped them to get through, even when they threw the lifeboats off, even when they threw the firefighters on board. They have Coast Guard and naval firefighters on ships. When they started to put the fires out, the Israelis were machine gunning them. So Alex Jones dug into it and found that out, and this is when he was much younger. Now you see him, and he's so much controversy around his name, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because he was telling the truth. Play on.
And they torpedoed it as they begged for hours on the radio, and LBJ sat there in 63 and let them do it.
So that was just a quick reminder of the Israelis' character. I want you to get the number 3. This is going to shock some of you. Maybe some of you won't be shocked. So this is what the Israelis or the IDF and the Zionists, this is what they think. Because remember, the Talmud is a big part of their tradition, which the Talmud has nothing to do with the Israelites at all. Watch what number 3. Number 3, watch what they think about good old Christians, quote-unquote Christians.
Goyim sometimes can be, like they say, you killed our God. That means he wasn't a God. How can you kill a God?
Hey,
You
hold
know
up, hold up. So y'all know he's talking about Jesus Christ, right? When they say, "Oh, you killed that with God," so he wasn't a God. So it tells you what they think about Jesus right there, right off the bat, too. On top of what they think about Christians as they going in and using that word goyim, which goyim means cattle.
Right. And to your point, Officer Mikael, to add to what you just said, white Christian and evangelical Christians don't know that. They don't understand that what they talk about this regular. This is this Katz? I think this is Secretary of Defense Katz, if I'm not mistaken. See if it says. I don't know if it gives his name, but I believe that he's a political figure. I want to say his name is Katz. He's the Minister of Defense. Okay, matter of fact, pause that. Look up Katz, Minister of Israeli Defense. Try to look that up real quick. I think this is him. So you have somebody who is talking ill about Jesus. Now, we know that the real Jesus of the Bible is a black man, okay, with woolly hair. But the white Jesus that represents Christianity still died allegedly for the whole world. And we're sending tens of billions of dollars over there. Don't you think that white Christians should be outraged at this right here? They're talking about their Jesus right now. Put it up there. See, yeah, okay. Make a picture of him. See if that's him. I can't tell. Maybe that's not him. Probably not. Okay, I'm wrong. But this guy, go back to the other video. This guy he's somebody in politics. He's very famous. Go back to the number 3.
How stupid you could be. You killed our God. Who was your God? JC. If it was God, we could kill him. I wonder how dumb this goyim sometimes can be. Like they say, you killed our God. That means it wasn't a God. How can you kill a God? You know, man?
Yeah, so that's what the Israelis think about Jesus, the Jesus of the Bible. Now, we know who the real Jesus. Let's look at number 4, dropping some truth about Jewish evil deeds and evil acts. Check this out. It's a Facebook video.
Keith, about Satan's true origins.
First off, they're fake Jews.
Pause,
They don't.
Watch, real quick. This guy right here. There's a bunch of Edomites like this right here. Some are former Marines and Army guys. They don't give a crap, and a lot of them are waking up and realizing that Now, I'm not justifying what Hitler did, because Hitler was a devil, just like the Russians were the devil, just like the Portuguese were devils. But Hitler was standing up against pornography that the Jewish were bringing to his land. Now, in the gas chamber numbers, yes, there was documented there was certain hundreds of thousands, if not a million, but there wasn't 6 million, and it doesn't even compare at all to the over 100 million in the transatlantic slave trade, and then the other 200 million in the Americas. So, please. Anyways, Ken O'Keefe, watch this guy. They hate this guy. This is a white boy that tells the truth. Play it again.
His name is not Netanyahu. His name is Milikowski. He's born in Poland.
Go back. Please, from the beginning. That is the beginning. Okay. So Ken O'Keefe, so this guy he happens to be a Marine Corps veteran, Gulf War veteran. So he served at time overseas, and he's got a platform now, and he has this to say about the Jewish lobby, and also about the Israeli and Zionism. Watch what he says.
Hey, Cap, real quick before we play. It says right here, let's hear from Ken O'Keefe about Satan's true origins.
Yeah.
Wow. That's heavy right there.
Watch, and here's the thing. He actually has a platform. People listen to this dude.
Wow.
Look him up. Play.
His true origins.
First off, they're fake Jews. They don't. His name is not Netanyahu. His name is Milikowski. He's born in Poland. He has not 1 ounce of Semitic blood. So how is it possible that fake Jews were able to use the anti-Semitism charge, which ignores that the Palestinians are actually Semites and speak a Semitic language?
So that's where he's correct, because we do know that Hagar and Ishmael come from Abraham, so they're from the seed of Shem. So we know that. We also know, here's the thing, the white man is also from Shem as well. That part he doesn't understand, because all Edomites, Esau, come from Edom. They are Shemitic. They are. Whether they're German Shemitic, so Malowski is a Shemitic, but so aren't the Palestinians, so aren't the Saudi Arabians, so aren't us, the real Jews, the Israelites.
Right.
So play on.
That's the part they always leave out. They'll say that those that are claiming to be Jews aren't the real Jews over there. They're fake Jews. He's from Poland. Well, if they're the fake Jews, who the real Jews are? When you gonna start saying that?
Right.
And that's heavy. That you know what? That's so simple, but so. What he's saying is that's you said it perfect. He's literally saying they're the fake Jews, so there has to be real Jews.
Yes.
So who are they? I love it. I love it. Play on.
You got to be real powerful to be able to be 0.02% of the human population, and yet you're exerting all of this control. You know and I know that if you speak critically and truthfully about the Jewish state of Israel, your career is over.
Facts, Ken. That's why they canceled us on YouTube.
Yeah. Damn, did he say YouTube?
That's what it sounds like.
Play it again. I want to hear that. I want to hear that dude. That dude right there is bold. I don't know if he just said that.
It sounded like it.
It did sound like
True
YouTube.
origin.
Listen what Esau said.
First off, they're fake Jews. His name is not Netanyahu. His name is Milikowski. He's born in Poland. He has not 1 ounce of Semitic blood. So how is it possible that fake Jews were able to use the anti-Semitism charge, which ignores that the Palestinians are actually Semites and speak a Semitic language? You got to be real powerful to be able to be 0.02% of the human population, and yet you're exerting all of this control. You know and I know that if you speak critically and truthfully about the Jewish state of Israel, your career is over.
Facts, Ken. That's why they canceled us on YouTube.
Yeah. Damn, I think you might.
Yeah, he said YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah. Damn, bro. All right, so let's get some more. I want to talk about something that this when I saw this is kind of I'm gonna say save number 7. I'm gonna show you the level of evil that this man. Give me number 8. This is from. It's an article about the death of a Palestinian goalkeeper, soccer football guy. So you hear about a lot of children dying, older men, older women, but they have killed, and what you're going to hear a little bit later on, the IDF are a bunch. They're savages. They don't have consciences. They're the worst of the heathen is what they are. They're horrible people. Play that number 8 article. Watch at the end of the article. You're going to be shocked. Read that. Number 8. So look, everybody at home, I want you to look at the title of this article. Just look at it and read it for yourself real quick. Everybody at home. This is not talking about high school athletes and middle school athletes. They've killed over 1,000 recognized public figure athletes. And here's one of them. Can you imagine if one Israeli football player died? You know how much of a big deal if they kill one Israeli sports guy. I'm telling you, Esau, man, I tell you, Ishmael's getting it. They're catching hell right now. Yes.
Every team in America would be wearing that Israeli's jersey number on their uniform.
Bring it out, please. Bring it out.
You know,
bro.
that's
Bring
what
it
they
out.
would be doing.
You know what's real heavy about that right there? Is they have the World Cup soccer tournament going on right now in the United States. And this is my first time hearing about these 1,000 Palestinian athletes that have been murdered.
Right.
But let that have been, like you said, let that have been Israelis. The whole broadcast would have been taken over.
They would have did a moment of silence.
Right.
All the U.S. teams in all the white countries would have wore their jersey.
Right.
They would have probably wore the jersey in the Congress. You know, one congressman wore IDF uniform on the floor.
Right.
So that you have, and this goes to show you that Esau. Get me Judges 9:24. Esau literally runs this earth, and he controls everything because you got to imagine 1,000 athletes die, 1,000 Palestinian athletes die, 1,000. And you don't hear a lot about this. That shows you who controls the very vast majority of media, down to the point where even when you search, you can't find things. Check this out.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24.
Yep.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The Most High God gave Esau this earth right now. He's allowing him to do what he's doing. And what he's doing is a whole bunch of evil in the earth. And this is the reason why I'm bringing this out, because when you see all the people dying in Gaza, in the West Bank, and now southern Lebanon, getting killed by the thousands, the anger from these Arab men and women is generational. It's so embedded in their culture now. And now with Iran, later on we're going to go into it, Iran truly is the hero of the Middle East for these Arabs. And it's all prophecy. It's coming to pass. This is going to unite the Arabs. When they hear stuff like this, read on.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
That's right.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
Because when the Israelites are in power, we will rule with just judgment. We will be righteous to the point where everything is going to go back in course. Everything is going to go back in order. And we will be just even over these nations. And just like it says in Isaiah, if they don't come up to worship, no rain will fall. We're going to be just in our judgment. Sometimes there's going to be a harsh judgment. But these men that rule this earth now, they're not just at all. They don't have a just bone in their body. So let's read the article.
Israeli kills Palestinian goalkeeper as death toll among athletes surpasses 1,000.
Damn.
Goalkeeper of Khan Yunis Service Club, Salim Kadir Al-Askar, 32, was killed on Monday after being shot by Israeli occupation forces in the town of Al-Qarara, northeast of Khan Yunis, in the Gaza Strip, according to the WAFA news agency. Al-Ashkar also played for Al-Askar and Al-Masuda Sports Club during his football career in the Gaza Strip.
So he had a career. He was a career soccer player, career football player. Read on.
Local sources said Al-Ashkar had been married for only 5 months.
Dude just got married. Read on.
And was awaiting the birth of his first child.
Yep.
He was also the only son among 7 siblings.
So you don't think the 6 sisters, he's got 7 siblings, right? So if he was the 7th, right? There was 6 girls. So that means in the household, he brought a certain balance to the family structure. 6 daughters, 1 son. All of their stories are going to be passed over the years. And this is all this people, these Arabs are paying attention. This is going to be the prophetic unity that they're going to need to come out. Because remember, the Arabs are going to rise up first before then the Carmanians will join battle. And here's the thing. Iran is not predominantly Arab. They have some Arabs over there, but they are Persian. They are Carmanians, the Iranians. That's a different race. But check this out. They have the same religion. They're standing up against the dragon right now. And they're the hero. They're going to be the ones that are going to unite the Arabs. You know, why aren't the Saudi princes and all these people that got trillions of dollars raise a private mercenary? The people, the Green Berets in the U.S., they'll sell out. All the U.S. fight, you pay them $1 million a year, they'll go work, be a private mercenary, no problem. Saudi princes could create their own army and train them over there. They're not going to do it yet because it's not time. Okay, read on.
Palestinian man Salim Askar was killed by Israeli occupation forces in the town of Al-Qarara, northwest of Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip a short while ago.
Scroll down real quick. I just want to see something. Let me go back up. I'm gonna read this part. With Al-Ashkar's killing, the number of members of the Palestinian sports community killed since the start of the Israel's genocidal war on the Gaza Strip in October 2023, so we're almost at the third year mark, right, has risen to 1,009, including 567 from the Palestinian football community, a.k.a. soccer, according to Wafa news agency. You have to put that in perspective. I don't think there's been 1,000 soccer players that if you add up all the wars of every country ever, I don't believe that 1,000 sports players died in all World War I. Add up all the wars. This is terrible. Also, they killed more journalists and more emergency medical workers than all the wars in the Middle East combined. That's another stat. And this is the sick Israeli IDF, sick vermin.
Cap, here's the thing that we not seeing. How many soldiers, how many Gaza soldiers are they killing? You can't even find it. I remember when they first started out, they showed the little hang glider with the hot air balloon like dropping down, like had a go-kart with a balloon on it. I guess that was what the Gaza military had. And they're like, yeah, they got into the Iron Dome with this. Are you kidding me? Everybody that you hear about them killing, it's never a soldier. It's always a civilian, a soccer player, a child, a mother. They always killing people that are not soldiers.
And he was unarmed. He was not armed. So they're going and they're killing unarmed, innocent civilian in the name of their Hamas.
Right.
Terrorists.
Hey, Cap, can we go back to that article? And the reason why is it was something that was written right beneath that that image. You know, it was talking about it's real interesting. Can we pull that back up? And scroll down to the image in the middle, right there. It says, right there, it says, attacks against innocent civilians continue with impunity.
Mm-hmm.
What does impunity mean?
Look it up. Look that up. Hey, a lot of people don't know what that means. Impunity means you can get away with it and nobody's going to hold you accountable for nothing.
Nobody's going to hold you accountable for nothing.
And here's the thing. And this is the thing. And that's a good. I missed that. That's a hell of a point because they can continue to kill, even though all these countries in the international community, in the United Nations, I think there was 2 countries that stood up against it. One was the United States and one was Israel. All the other countries were voting for to recognize Palestine as a free state, as a country, 2-party country. Here's the thing. If you can't be tried, if there's no international body of accountability, you can do whatever you want. There is no standard of fear of doing anything wrong. They mow down. I remember one report that they targeted Palestinian children that were going to get at refugee healing centers where they go and get food and shelter. And when they were going to the trucks, they're mowing them down and shooting them. And the way they figured out is because they got rounds that's going through their heads. So they're like target practice. They're treating them like it's like they're shooting. You know, and farmers have rats, and they go out in the night with the infrareds and they kill the rats in the field because they're eating their crops. They're treating them as if they are vermin, and it's God's got something for them. God got something special for these people. It's very sickening. What
definition?
Yes, Solomon, bring it out.
Impunity means exemption or freedom from punishment, penalty, or harm. So when we just read about that they was doing this without impunity,
right?
You know, they feel as though, okay, well, we're going to do this. Just like Cap was just talking about. He was saying that they was using these kids, these innocent children, you know, the Palestinians as target practice. You know, they was killing them. And there is nothing that's going to be done about it. You know, the World Justice Court, or Court Justice, they're not going to do anything about it.
Nope.
They still got a warrant out for BB's arrest, right?
Mm-hmm.
To your point, Officer Solomon, look up rules of engagement.
ROE.
I remember this. ROE. You had rules of engagement. Every soldier understood those rules of engagement. It was before you even thought about squeezing the trigger, all this popped into your mind. You had to have rules of engagement, because if you shot a person, that was it. Like you can't recall the bullet. Once you squeeze that trigger, you got to bear those consequences that come with it. Could you get that real quick? Called rules of engagement. What it means?
Military rules of engagement, ROE, are internal directives issued by a competent military authority that define the circumstances, conditions, degree, and manner in which military force may be applied.
So it says it defines the circumstances, conditions, degree, and manner in which military force may be applied, which means you can't take a machine gun and mow down children. That's not part of the rules of engagement. You understood those laws or those rules. They were put in place to keep you out of jail.
Can we read the rest of the definition?
Yeah, go ahead.
It says they serve as legal and operational guardrails to ensure military actions align with national policy, international law, and ethical standards.
That does not exist right now in over in Israel. That ethical standards don't exist.
So bring it out.
Officer Mike and Cap, Officer Solomon. The reason is we just read it. Let's read it again. Job 9:24. This is why it don't matter.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
He covers the faces of the judges thereof. The judges in those international courts, their faces are covered by Amalek. Amalek controls them. That's what it means when it says they cover their faces. He's controlling them. So if he controls them, if the earth is given to him, who gonna tell him anything?
That's why you can fire on a ship. That's your ally.
Right.
No rules.
No rules.
And then when Alex Jones brings it up, and he's a quack, he's a tinfoil conspiracy theorist, because he is telling the truth that actually happened. Now, check this out. Pull up number 9. These are the articles. This is what's going to unite the Arab community. This is some sick stuff. So, number 9 is going to go into Gaza has formed an amputee soccer team for women, because there's so many. Remember, they killed tens of thousands, over 100,000. But when they say that people are injured, if you lose an arm, a leg, or 2 legs, you're an amputee. You're still not dead, but it's life-altering, to the point where they now, think about it, if I have a soccer team that's an amputee, right, don't I have to play other teams?
Right.
So that means they got a whole bunch more that are in this situation. And I'm going to tell you, these Arabs, I'm not talking about the rich trillionaires that these Saudi princes and these Qatarian princes and these people from Bahrain who have trillions and billions. I'm talking about the average Arab that sees this, they are going to unite. I think it's an article. Watch this. What's the video? Play the video, yeah.
This is Gaza's first amputee football team for women's. It was created in the wake of Israel's genocide.
Hey, pause. I'm sorry. Officer Mike is right. They don't look like soldiers to me. So why they have their limbs blown off? Are they Hamas? Let there be 3 little innocent Jewish girls like that, and it would be it would take over social media. You'd have black sellout coons in Congress with pictures of them on their goddamn friggin' lapels in the stupid ass Senate.
Hey, Cap, they might not be Hamas, but according to Bibi, they Amalek. Remember, he said that too. He tried to claim that the Palestinians were Amalek.
Right.
And for those that are watching at home, it's not talking about American football where they throw the brown football. They missing legs and they out there trying to play soccer where you have to use your legs to kick a soccer ball. I'm not trying to be funny. They're playing, I think it's called football.
Yep.
So that's what they call football. They actually use a soccer ball and they kick that ball around.
So what it shows is that it shows their resilience, right? Now, Ishmael has a judgment from God, and they're getting it right now. And we're not on the Arab side. We're not on the Israeli side. That's for damn sure. We're on God's side. And God says that they would fight over that land. And guess what? If it wasn't prophetic, why don't they the Jews just go to, they got all the money, go to Venezuela, go to Chile. Let the Arabs in Palestine go to Egypt. They're never going to leave that land until God brings the Third World War. I'm telling you, this is all. So this article, was that just a video? Okay, finish the video. We're going to read the article, please.
After attacks tore away not only players' limbs, but the chance to grow with ordinary dreams. To run, play sports, and compete with feel hope. On this pitch, captains Ali Al-Mabid says that they are taking back what was stolen.
هذا الفريق عشان ندعمهم ونقول لهم حتى لو انه صار حالة الحرب عرضت
Pause. I just realized this. Remember, they killed 1,009 soccer players, right?
Right.
But they injured a whole lot more because I misunderstood. These were soccer players. She was a captain. So she played soccer. And so her MOS, she didn't have an MOS in the Palestinian army.
Right.
She wasn't Hamas terrorist. She was a sports figure that was trying to take care of her family. Like the other guy that died, who was 32 years old, married for 5 months, and was one of 7 children, was the only brother of 7 children.
And had a child on the way.
Let me tell you something else. Some of these people, when I look at some of these Arabs, some of them are Israel. Some of them are Israel. Because remember, we would be in Isaiah 11, we would be in Hamas, we would be the islands of the sea, we would be in Persia, we would be in these places.
Right.
We would be in Afro-Palestinians. Some of them, like this sister right here, this woman right here, she may be fully Arab, but there are people that like her. Her father could be an Afro-Palestinian, and the mother could be full Arab. That still makes her an Israelite.
Right.
So we don't know. Some of these folks could be our people. We pray that the Lord have mercy on all of the true Israelites that are in Palestine, the Afro-Palestinians. Play on.
ولحق بتر إلا إنه لا بنقدر نلعب وبنقدر نكمل وما فيش حاجة حتقدر توقفنا.
Her team says they are following the 2026 Men's World Cup as an escape.
أكيد بنتابع كأس العالم. هو صراحة حلو يعني كأس العالم وخاصة إنه في فرق عربية بتشارك فيه.
حاليا هو اللي ضايل مصر تقريبا فإن شاء الله يصلوا.
It's about challenging the stigma attached to women who dare to play sports.
قطاع غزة شعب شوي شرقي زي ما بتقول، يعني كيف فتاة بنت ومتعرضت لإصابة وتقوم بتلعب كرة قدم أو تلبس شورت وتلعب في مباراة.
لعب البنات إنه بيعطي للبنات ثقة بالزيادة، إنه ببين بيظهر البنات في المجتمع. هي علاقة الصراحة كتير حلوة. كلنا مع بعض هنا بنات صحبة مع بعض زي الإخوة.
Israel's relentless bombardment left most Gaza in ruins. Footballer Maziazi says Israel has withheld the resources needed to rebuild Gaza.
And pause. We're going to stop here, and that's why the whole world. That's why that the Daniel O'Keefe, that other guy that came on there and said that the fake Jews and brought out all the evil about them. How Alex Jones brought about how the character of the Israelis and their government and what they did to the USS Liberty. That's the character they have. Their character is of destroy, no mercy, all of that. But here's the thing. They have to be like that. for the Arabs to truly bind up, to become one unit, to come out together as one, it has to be something, a special type of evil, a type of evil that goes beyond mercy. And this is what these idea, they have no mercy. The Lord coming for them. Let's read the article. Is there an article? Okay. When we go on a break, Nehemiah. Go now. One more. Hang on a sec. Yeah, you know what? Actually, no, real quick, Nehemiah. Give me 1 sec. Go to number 5. We're gonna before we go to break, we're gonna talk. This is about the destruction. Not only are they doing this in Palestine, they're doing this in the West Bank, which is also, it's in Israel. It's a section with the Palestinians that's supposed to be their land, right? Number 5 shows you the destruction and the continued destruction as of yesterday in southern Lebanon, which is a sovereign country. Lebanon, capital Beirut, it's a separate country that is beginning to look like Gaza. Take a look at this. And these are Arabs. These are Arabs here, okay? Ishmaelites. Come on.
Al Jazeera. Psychological toll mounts as Lebanese villages erased by Israel's war.
It says Lebanese villages are being erased. That's what they did in Gaza. They erased most of Gaza. It looks like Gaza. That looks like the scenes in Gaza. And if I'm an Arab and pull up, get me a map of the Persian Gulf, please, with the countries. If I'm an Arab and I'm paying attention, which I'm not, that's why this doesn't affect me but I have common sense. If I'm an Arab and I live in Persian Gulf, say I live in Oman, Jordan, Yemen, Bahrain, Qatar, Iraq, if I live in any of the Arabian countries, Egypt, right? Syria, Palestine, I'm going to be in Saudi Arabia. Here's the thing. Even though these Saudi princes have trillions of dollars and billions of dollars, they're still Arab. And part of them is still angry as what they see happen to their Arab brothers. And Ishmael's a wild man. So he only could control his wild spirit for but so long, even the rich ones. Can I get a map? Thank you. So let's look, y'all. So if we look at this big L, looks like the state of Louisiana, you have Saudi Arabia takes up most of that peninsula, okay? Huge. Yemen, Oman, UAE, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, it's an island, but they call it a country. Kuwait, which was always part of Iraq, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, and Israel, the whole country of northern Egypt, by the way. And there are parts of Turkey is predominantly all Muslim now, so we're just named the Arab countries. Iran is all Muslim. Turkey is, the whole area is predominantly Muslim in the whole area. And Islam is also angry at what's happening to them Arabs. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Go to number, what we was at? I figure it was at. Yes. So quick article, we're going to go to break.
Beirut, Lebanon. In February 2025, Ali stood outside his house in Nakhorora in southern Lebanon and pointed at the crack in the foundation and fruit trees pulled up by the Israeli military. The Israeli military had recently withdrawn from the town as part of a ceasefire agreement.
Now, this is back February of 2025, so we're talking about almost a year and 4 or 5 months ago. Read on.
But had left behind detonated homes and graffiti-laden schools and power lines pulled out of the ground. Ali, an elderly man from the town, said at the time that he would fix it all.
Can you got to be a special kind of demon to pull somebody's fruit tree up out the ground.
Yep.
Hey, did y'all miss that part? He said they pulled the fruit tree up out the ground. And it's bad enough you bombing the hell out of the people. You're going to go and pull the fruit tree up out the ground? These people are beasts. They are brute beasts.
But a little more than a year later, Israel has completely razed the area of Nakora.
Look up the word raise, not R-A-I-S-E, but raise, R-A-Z-E. To raise something. Listen, these people here, prophetically, they have to be that way. For them to cause all the evil that you see in the world, what's going on in Somalia, what's going on in these African countries, it is with Esau. It's either the CIA, it's either the MI6, it's the Israeli Mossad, it's U.S. CIA, Green Berets, all of that. That's all. They cause all the division in the earth, all the destabilization. I'll say the vast majority of it is Esau.
Raised is the past tense of the verb raise. It means to completely tear down, demolish, or level a building, structure, or town to the ground.
So like Officer Mike was saying, when they say they leveled it, they not only leveled buildings, but before they left, they took up the man's fruit tree. That's an ultimate slap in the face, because you can rebuild the building. Fruit tree could have been there for 15 years, 20 years. And once the roots are set, that's food for generation after generation. Fruit trees can go 20 to 50 years. That's a special kind of just
evil.
Yeah, God made them this way. They're a bunch of damn terrible, they're horrible people. Go back to the article.
Let me see. But a little more than a year later, Israel has completely razed the area of Nakora, one of many towns and villages in southern Lebanon that the Israeli military has made completely uninhabitable.
If you recall, there was a certain amount of months ago, Lebanon was off limits. And I remember the Israeli officials saying, we're going to turn Lebanon into Gaza. They're doing what they said they're doing.
Yep.
And it is prophetic. And here's the thing. You have to put yourself in the mind. Pull up the map of the Persian Gulf again. Put yourself, if I'm an Arab, right? They got social media. Arabs got social media. They got smartphones. Everyone got a smartphone now. When you look at this map, anyways.
A count.
Yeah.
Well, they got the map. I'll let you. I'll bring it out after you go.
But save your point, though. I want to hear it, though. Look, so if I live anywhere in that area, not to mention, do me a favor, tech team, or even on your phones, look up what is the Arab population in Australia. Because there's Arabs everywhere. And then somebody else look up what is the Arab population in the United States. Because a lot of these Arabs are in white countries like Australia, like the U.S., like Canada, like London. I couldn't believe, when I was in England, I couldn't believe how many Arabs I saw over there.
Don't they have like an Arab mayor or something?
They have an Indian mayor. New York has,
okay.
I know what you're saying. Pull that up.
The Arab population in Australia comprises over 370,000 Arabic speakers and nearly 500,000 people claiming Arab ancestry.
So you don't think those people that are in Australia that might have a little bit better life than those in Qatar, or some of the poorer Arab countries, you don't think that they're glued and upset when they see all the atrocities happening to their people? It's not just going to be the Arabs that's going to rise up in the Middle East. These Arabs are going to work together. They're going to rise up. Watch. They're going to rise up. Remember, is it Nahum? About this, I don't want to get into it. It's about the sleeper cell, the caterpillars.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's either Nahum or I can't recall. Read on. Oh, brain freeze. Go back to the article. I'm sorry. So, yeah, that's the map. You're right, the map. My fault. So if you're an Arab that lives in any of these countries and you're seeing this soccer article, you're seeing that Beirut towns are being leveled. Look at Lebanon. Lebanon is a smaller country than even Israel. Look how small it is. It's right, perfect. Look at beautiful weather, right in the Mediterranean Sea, huge coastline, borders Syria. Look at it. And they're leveling southern Lebanon. They're destroying they're razing whole villages and towns. They're destroying everything.
Hey, Cap.
Yes.
That sleeper cell thing you wanted was in Habakkuk, and then the caterpillars in Jeremiah.
Yeah, I want read the one in Habakkuk. Let me hear that one.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 7. Shall not they rise up suddenly, that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them.
Right. They're going to spoil them. Read.
Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein.
Everywhere Esau goes, he causes violence and bloodshed, and he will be for booties, meaning he will be for that reward. A pirate gets treasures and all that and steals whatever. They've been pirates of the earth. They're going to have their stuff taken from them. They're going to be like Isaiah said, is this the man that did weaken nations? All that's going to happen. With that, y'all stick around. We come back. We're going to show you how the U.S. economy is being divided, and how the Democrats, the Republicans, they're taking sides in the Israeli position, and more people are seeing that these Israelis under Aipac and other Jewish lobby agencies are destroying the U.S. A lot of these Edomites are really starting to see this. That's why the dragon is divided. Stick around, y'all. We're going to break. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom Israel. No sign Christ bless. Why do you subscribe? IUIC New Orleans, subscribe. Go to our YouTube page. Help us to grow. Comment, like, share. What's going on? Make it happen.
Ready for combat. Amalek won't smoke until they catch a contact. Ashkelon go detonate where the bombs at. Prophesy about war until we lay a town flat. Blasphemy by the synagogue of Satan. Rock the bell for your declaration. 80 are paying for their anti-defamation. Prophecies ignited, that's a detonation. Get your brains blown like a head gasket. Nukes turn your dads into ash, you bastards.
What is your homeland? Grenada is not your homeland. You were brought here as slaves. The white man bought you. The British man bought you. The French man bought you. The Spanish man bought you. God says those are your enemies. Your means of transportation would be slave ships that happened to the people of Grenada. It happened to you Grenadians. Therefore, you are the children of Israel. Jesus Christ had white and woolly hair. You brothers of Grenada, you have woolly hair. You are made in the image of God. You are made in the image of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is a black man.
Welcome back. Precept upon precept. Y'all see the thumbnail, Divided Dragon and the Aipac Wedge. Speaking of the Aipac, let's go on to number 7. There's a guy named Aaron Matei on Judge Napolitano, and I got everything timestamped for you. He's going to go into how Aipac is very toxic for the U.S. government and how a foreign national government, through funding, is controlling politics on both sides of the house, Democrat or Republican. So, as they say. So, timestamp 2:43 to 4:14, please. Everything is timestamped all nice and neat for you.
Start with domestic politics. What message, as you understand it, do the recent Democratic primaries in New York and Colorado send to the American Israel lobby in general and AIPAC in particular?
They send the message that AIPAC is a toxic political brand. For 2 consecutive weeks, and now 4 races from New York to Denver, candidates who openly reject AIPAC, who advocate for self-determination of Palestinians, who reject the Israel's
Pause. I want
first
you to do me a
agenda.
favor. I want you to, and it's simple. The word, his name, Aaron Matei. I want you to look that up. Look that up. He's a journalist. There's a reason I'm asking you to do that. Look up Aaron Matei, M-A-T-E with a little hyphen over it. He's a journalist. Let's see what he covers. Okay. Just get that ready. Let's go back to the video. Okay, cool. Good job.
Aaron Matei, born March 13, 1979, is a Canadian writer and journalist. He hosts the show Pushback with Aaron Matei on the Gray Zone. And as of January 2022, he fills in as a host on the Useful Idiots podcast.
Scroll down. Yeah, so where it says he testified. So here's the thing. If you go before, number one, the United Nations is not going to allow just any old citizen to come testify. So watch this.
Matei has testified at United Nations area meetings hosted by Russia and China after being invited by the mission of the Russian Federation to the United Nations.
Okay, go to early life, because this is why I'm saying, you see, when a Jewish person says AIPAC is toxic, does that make him anti-Semitic?
He's
You see
anti-Semitic.
this? I'm telling you, pull up the thumbnail. I'm sorry, tech team. Pull up the thumbnail. This is an excellent thumbnail you did, Mikhail. That's America. AIPAC, and what's happening right now is even in Democratic primaries, they're beating out AIPAC sponsors, and they don't even have money. They're just winning because the voters are sick and tired of the Israeli lobby. People are starting to wake up to it. And this is what he's saying, this is a Jewish guy. Go back to early life. And here's the thing. I just had a hunch. I didn't even research this. Some said, this guy's Jewish. So now, read early life.
Early life. Matei was born into a Jewish family in Vancouver. Teray Matei, a visual artist and an illustrator of children's books. And Gabriel Matei, a Hungarian-born Canadian physician, author, and columnist.
So is an author, a doctor, an author, and wrote a column. So he's from a family of wealthy, intelligent, smart, college-educated people. Now go back to what he's saying. Now this is a Jewish man with a doctor as a father, all kind of testified at the, what did he testify at?
The United Nations.
United Nations. So this guy obviously has known in political circles. He's on Judge. What is a Jewish man saying about AIPAC? Play on.
Dominated politics for so long, they've won. And in the case of Denver, which was last night, this is another stunning upset. It's a young woman named Melat Kiros. She's a 29-year-old lawyer. She defeated a 30-year incumbent, Diana Dejet, who received more than $1.6 million over the course of her career in money from pro-Israel lobby groups. And Melat Kiros run unapologetically, against Aipac, calling for justice in Palestine, against the genocide, vowing to cut off weapons to Israel. She's even said she won't support Hakeem Jeffries as House Speaker because of his unapologetic support for Israel. So this is not just in New York where people thought, okay, well, yes, this is a leftist enclave, so it's to be expected that a race like this could happen. It's not happening in Denver, and I suspect that it won't end there.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in both primaries,
Okay, go to the next timestamp. What we're showing y'all is that more and more Jewish people who, I guess they're anti-Semitic, are speaking up against the evils that the Zionist Israelis are doing right now to the Lebanese people and the people of Gaza. And now it's transcending to regular political officials who don't have big budgets like AIPAC-sponsored parties. They're winning because the public has to vote them in. They're seeing what's going on. This is the division that's going to start here at home in the U.S. Go ahead.
But if you listen carefully, now I know you know this, Aaron, so I'm saying it for the benefit of the audience, you will hear that this woman, a lawyer, wrote a letter protesting Israeli genocide, and her law firm said to her, withdraw the letter or you're fired. And of course, she did not withdraw the letter. But listen to this and then we'll talk about it. Chris?
So that's in Denver, Colorado. And now here's the thing. A 29-year-old woman, that's very, very young to win in a political office. 29-year-old, she's an attorney. And I'm going to make a prediction that there were probably powerful Jewish people that were on the board of directors that said, if you don't take that statement down, we're going to fire you. Otherwise, what lawyers know about freedom of speech. They understand constitutional law. Why would they threaten to fire her if she was running on this platform? Showing you that a lot of times when you stand up and you say things against the AIPAC and against Jewish lobbyists, you will get ostracized politically, and they'll try to ruin your economic future. So keep that in mind. Yeah, go back to the video. I'm sorry. We're having trouble tonight. We're down a major tech guy, so y'all bear with us. Down a major tech guy. Matter of fact, get me. It's Matthew. It says a house divided cannot stand. So what you're seeing is inside of this is a two-party system. They have independents, meaning they have Republicans and they have Democrats. Democrats are very liberal. Republicans are supposed to be conservative, and you have one thing that binds them is the fact that both of them are on the payroll for Jewish lobbyists, like the biggest one we know of, AIPAC. And because of that, anything that Israel gets pushed through about funding for Israel, about Israel's merging with the U.S. military, certain aspects of that, it's going to get pushed through because they're supporting them to get them in office. And then even after they get in office, they still give them funds. Showing you that lady that was a 30-year incumbent, she got over $1.6 million over the last 30 years. So that it's very hard at these local offices for her to win, for anybody else to win, rather. Play? Read, sorry.
The book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 25. And Jesus knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
And that's what's going on. Every kingdom. Esau is the kingdom. This is their kingdom. Whether it be the Israelis, the Portuguese, the British, this is their kingdom. They rule the world. The Saudis don't rule the world. Otherwise, they would have bombed the hell out of Israel by now. The Africans don't rule the world. The Chinese don't rule the world. The Chinese have couple dozen military bases. They don't have 845 bases. Esau rules the world, and his kingdom in this last day is being divided. At home here in the Babylon, the biggest part of his kingdom. Keep going.
As for what comes next. Yeah. When I wrote a letter defending students' rights to protest the genocide in Gaza, my law firm told me take it down or you're fired. I didn't flinch because I stood by every word and I always will. I know that will not be the only moment where those in power will tell me to change my tune, to not rock the boat. That seems to happen a lot in Congress. But here in Denver, we stand by our values.
How much of a threat is this to AIPAC?
I think it's a pretty big threat that you're seeing integrity, like the kind just explained, being rewarded at the ballot box. We haven't seen this really ever happen. So many races in such a short amount of time, with candidates who are unapologetically standing up to AIPAC, not trying to water down their message, but unapologetically standing up and saying that they're not going to be intimidated by all the traditional bullying tactics of censorship and a lot of money that go to defeating candidates who support Palestine self-determination. So I think if you're the congressional leadership, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, who are totally in AIPAC's pocket, and AIPAC itself, I think all of this is worrying. And it's a really inspiring story. Imagine, like, you go from losing your job at a law firm because you refuse to retract your support for free speech rights for students who are protesting the genocide, and then you run for office, and all the people, like the wealthy billionaires who were behind this wave of cancellations, trying to just basically announcing that if you speak up for Palestine, you will be unhireable and you will lose your job and we'll get you expelled from school. Or if you're a school president and you don't sufficiently crack down on these protests, we're going to get you fired. That was hugely intimidating. And I don't think the people who orchestrated this wave of cancellations, of censorship, the billionaire Zionists like Bill Ackman, I don't think they thought for a second it would create a kind of backlash where people, like we just saw speak, Milat Kiros, go and run for office and win, and win by showcasing the integrity that got them fired from their jobs. So it's sending a message to everybody, not just AIPAC, but also to the powerful people who were getting people fired, like Milat Kiros, for having a conscience.
Okay, next is that all the timestamps? One more. Okay. We know you're doing the best you can. One more.
Do you suspect that Trump has any intention of removing the IDF, either by words or by force, from Lebanon?
No, I don't. And he could, because already in recent weeks, after the MOU was signed and after Iran protested ongoing Israeli attacks in Lebanon, the U.S. did actually get Israel to pull back. If you speak to people who are based in southern Lebanon, they will tell you that there was a reduction in Israeli attacks, a considerable one. Haven't totally stopped, but they noticed that there was a lot more restraint on Israel's part, and that was the direct result of U.S. pressure. So if Trump wanted to, he could get Israel to fully withdraw from Lebanon. This idea that he can't is just not serious. As J.D. Vance openly said, Trump is the only head of state with any power who's sympathetic to Israel at this point. And he was right about that. That was a rare acknowledgement that the U.S. has significant leverage over Israel. Trump just has not been willing to use it.
All right. So you heard it on Judge. Get me number. So as that's going on, the economy is slipping. So Trump is trying to go to number 10, Trump's speech in North Dakota. So recently, Donald Trump went on a trip, and he's trying to make, he's going back to the breadbasket, middle America. We're sticking to our MAGA principles. Everything's great. The economy's great. Watch what he's saying, because after we watch this, we're going to show you that the U.S. economy is in for a real shock very soon. You're comfortable with these lower gas prices, and they're bringing them down for the 4th of July. They're bringing them down, get people traveling, and you're going to see sooner or later it's going to skyrocket up. Play that. Number 10.
Hey, while they trying to get that, I just wanted to get Psalm 64 real quick.
Bring it out.
Start at verse 3, then drop to verse 8. Read that real quick. Psalm 64.
The book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 8.
Start at verse 3. Read
verse 3. Who whet their tongues like a sword.
Right.
And bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words.
Now, we know they're shooting their arrows at us when they, on this part, but watch verse 8.
Verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue.
That same tongue that they whet like a sword to shoot their arrows with.
To fall upon themselves.
They're going to make their tongue fall upon themselves with those same bitter words that were meant for the Israelites. That's what we're seeing right now with them being divided against each other. They're going back and forth. They're speaking evil at Aipac now, and before they used to take all the money. That's what we're seeing. Bible prophecy coming to pass. Their own tongue is falling upon them right now.
That's right. Bring it out. Excellent. Excellent. We got that? All right. Number 10.
Al Jazeera, Iran war updates. Decisive response to any U.S. miscalculation. Tehran.
Hold on, I might have told you the wrong one. Hold on. Play this. I thought it was his Trump speech. Go ahead, play that. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. So, Trump's on the train. By the way, he took his first trip on the Qatar, gave him a new Air Force One. He flew in that new, from wherever he flew from, up to North Dakota. Now remember, it's the 250th anniversary of the United States. He's coming on a train painted in the anniversary colors, and everyone's greeting him. And watch as he embarks or disembarks the train. Play.
And those prices are all coming down. And you see fuel is coming way down. It's dropping like a rock, just like I said. Because those boats are coming out of the Hormuz Strait. They're coming out by numbers that nobody ever saw. We're setting records, actually.
Pause. So I want you to understand, right? Remember, his MAGA crowd used to be like very exciting. And you can see right now, look at the energy. Look at the energy. I think people are starting to really see who this guy really is. But play on.
Now, communism is the greatest threat to our country, including, I believe this. You know, when I said it, I said, boy, that's pretty severe, but I think it's true. The biggest threat to our country, including World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, September 11th. I think it's a bigger threat, potentially a bigger threat than that, because it's like a cancer that spreads, and you better stop it fast. We will never let the United States become a communist country.
There he goes, DJ. I just had to play that. So Trump is trying to let everybody know that the economy is going to be okay. But we have experts that say something absolutely the opposite of what they're saying. Let's go to, we're running out of time. Richard Wolff. This guy he's got a smooth delivery. Richard Wolff is talking about the fall of, not only did the U.S. is falling, the U.S. has already lost its world number one empire status. Richard Wolff. This is a very detailed video. Y'all know this guy. Number two.
We are living, you, me, right now. We are living, you, me, right now, through a very huge change in the entire world economy. There's many ways to explain it, but I'm going to summarize it this way. For most of the period since the end of the Second World War,
Pause.
Roughly since...
That's prophetic. When he dropped the bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, That was the first of the race to nuclear armament with the atom bomb. That changed everything. The U.S. emerged as the premier superpower. Great Britain was no longer the king of the block. U.S. controlled everything after that. That's what he's saying. Play on.
1945, the United States was the one super powerful, rich capitalist country. All the others that might have been competitors, Britain, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, wrecked by the war. They came out of the war where all the bombs fell, where all the troops were killed, where everything was smashed. Other than Pearl Harbor, at the very beginning, no bombs fell in the United States. No factories were destroyed, no railway lines were destroyed, and we suffered many fewer casualties as a percentage of our people than any of those other countries did. Better. Our economy was a disaster in the 1930s, the Great Depression, and it was the war that brought us out. So our economy was stronger at the end of that war than it had been. Whereas everybody else, the opposite, weaker than they had been. So we were king of the hill. The dollar became the global currency, could use it everywhere. Of course. The United States is 4.5% of the population of the world. We have 330 million people. It's about 4.5% of the population of the world. But we accounted in those years, the 50s, 60s, 70s, and all that, we accounted for a third or 40% or 50% of the total output of the world. Europe rebuilt itself, for those of you who know the history, because we lent them the money with which they could then buy the products we were ready to sell them.
Pause, and if you remember, some of you may leave it on there. You may remember your grandfathers or great-grandfathers. Many of them had manufacturing jobs. They were great manufacturers. I came from a city. It was called the brass capital of the world. They had huge production centers where they made munitions out of brass and other things, belt buckles and things for soldiers and other things made out of brass. You had Cleveland, Ohio was a huge industry city. You had Toledo, Ohio. You had Detroit, Michigan. Pittsburgh, name them.
Gary, Indiana.
You had Gary, Indiana, right?
Danville, Illinois.
Bring it out. Say some. Texas had a bunch of, and it was such a manufacturing base where a man could have one man working in his house, have a car, wash machine, have a wife, and raise a family on one manufacturing job. What was Mike? Bring it out.
Yeah, we had like places like Tyler Iron and Metal, Tyler Pipe. They made pipe. They made all, like, to your point, Captain, they made really, really good money, $40-50 an hour. Well, maybe not that much, but equivalent to that today. Yeah. They made really good money, and the women were able to stay home because that man's income sustained the house.
And when they took the jobs and they sent them to, because greedy men wanted bigger profit margins, the jobs went to Malaysia, made in China, made in Vietnam, and they worked for subservient wages, and the capitalist mind continued on. I can make a lot more money if I can make $25 million more a year because I don't have to pay all of these things for American workers. And that was the demise. That's what he's talking about. After 1945, there was a period of huge manufacturing throughout all of these U.S. cities. And then it went for a certain amount of time, as he's saying. So play on.
That was the period of the rising American empire. The previous empire, you all kind of know, the so-called British Empire, collapsed. India, remember, Mahatma Gandhi becomes independent. That was the great jewel of the crown of England, India. So they break away under Gandhi, 1947. It's the end for the British. It's the end for the French. All of those empires gone. Who replaces them economically? The United States. Nobody else can. And we made a fortune of money. And the American economy took off. And we lived in a country that persuaded.
Let me tell you something. And all of this money that was made in America came from the backs of our mothers and fathers who picked the cotton, the indigo for the dye, who picked the tobacco products, who did all of the other manual labor and we didn't get paid at all for hundreds of years. We provide the capital for capitalism in this country. And this is why we do these shows because, listen, what he's showing you is that America's going down. But keep in mind, America will be nothing if it wasn't for the black men in America. It would be absolutely nothing. The tribe of Judah made way for all other tribes to come here. The tribe of Judah, we bore the burdens in this country. Before it used to be, before the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans came, it was black and white and Native Americans, which are also brown. Those were the three: Gadites, Reubenites, Judah, and the white man. And later on, the Chinese came over after. The Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans came up after. And those are our people, the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans. But just showing you that, anyways, let this guy play.
Itself that it wasn't these peculiar circumstances of the war, and no, built into America is the exceptional quality. We work so hard and we save our money, and there again we encounter that economic concept bullshit. And how do we know? Because it's gone. It's never coming back. And that's very hard for all of you. Whether you admit it to yourself, whether you're even conscious of yourself yet. I'm working hard to make you conscious of it. It's over. The American empire is in decline. And that shouldn't surprise anyone, because every other empire in the history of the human race has gone up and then it has come down. Why you would imagine this one would be the one great exception? You have to be even crazier than most of us are. It was never a question of whether. It was only a question of when, and when has arrived. Here are the clues. We lost the war in Vietnam. We lost the war in Afghanistan. We lost the war in Iraq, and we're in the process of losing it in Ukraine. Hint. What is that about?
Oh, hey, Richie was flowing.
Itself that it wasn't these peculiar circumstances of the war, and no, built into America is the exceptional quality. We work so hard and we save our money, and there again we encounter that.
He's going to talk about the petrodollar. He's going to talk
economic
go forward a little bit, because we're running out of time. I didn't even get to half the
concept. Bullshit.
Okay. So y'all, listen, y'all check out Richard Wolff. He's an economist. He does not hold his tongue. He's getting other Edomites to realize this dragon is going down. And you see that the empire is being divided, hence the name of the show. Get me Richard Wolff. We're going to run out of time. Get me number 6. Nope, we don't have time for that. Let's go right to number 7. Nope, we did 7. You know what? Get 11 redacted, because we have about 20 minutes. I want to end right at 11:45. It's timestamp 2004 to 2442. It's talking about the economy from an oil executive. An oil executive is going to give his perspective on where we are with gas prices and the price of oil. Okay? How we doing?
Even though it is oil, but you can't ever actually access it. Same thing in Cushing, Oklahoma. If you go there, that's a tank farm. We've all seen oil tanks, big above ground things with the floating tops go up and down as the oil fills and retreats. And those are pretty much at tank bottom right now. They're about 18 million barrels. I think we saw in the last.
Are we at 2004 right now? Where are we at on time? That's not. Is this what? Look, I know I did it hours ago. 2004. Please and thank you. Overall, y'all doing good. I understand. It's tough. Thank you. Okay, play it.
Never actually access it. Same thing in Cushing, Oklahoma. If you go there, that's a tank farm. We've all seen oil tanks, big above ground things with the floating tops go up and down as the oil fills and retreats. And those are pretty much at tank bottom right now. They're about 18 million barrels. I think we saw in the last report, they went up 500,000 barrels.
Pause real quick. In the interest of time, What he's talking about, and a lot of us may not know this, there are huge coffers which they hollow out these, it's almost like a cave pit, and they put tens of millions of barrels of oil that they have on reserve in this country. They're not going to tell you where they're at, but they have huge quantities. One of the reasons why gas prices have been coming down, even though the oil wasn't moving through the Strait of Hormuz for weeks, is because they're actually tapping in to the U.S. reserves. So that's what he's talking about. The coffers, he's saying, are these huge underground giant, when I say giant, enormous, magnanimous tanks are becoming low. This guy is a formal or either active oil, he's what is it? An executive. So he understands the market, he understands about refineries and the whole process of taking it from the ground all the way to your gas tank, your diesel tank, or to your heating oil. Play on.
Bottom. Now, why is that bottom? Well, if you have a tank of oil and you're constantly putting oil in it for years and years and years, this stuff came out of the ground, and sometimes it's got sludge in it, sometimes it has precipitates, and there's things, and anyway, sludge ends up forming at the bottom of the tank. So when you have a big tank, they never put the outlet pipe right at the bottom. They put it up a little bit because you don't want to be drawing that stuff off like decanting wine. You don't want that sediment, you know. So somewhere around 18 million barrels is tank bottom. If we go lower than that, I think it's technically possible, but now you're going to have to filter it. Now you're going to have to treat it. Now you're going to have to figure out how you're going to blend it. Certain refiners are going to say, no, we don't want that stuff. It gets complicated quick. So, yeah, we have a minimum there that we're kind of at that minimum at this point.
Gosh. Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that we're sitting at this moment and there's this like propaganda that's being foisted on the American people as they head out to, you know, to drive their cars over the holiday weekend and filling up. And I see it on Twitter. People are like, look, Trump did it. Gas prices are low.
Yeah. And the reason they're low is because they're going into the coffers, the reserves, to manipulate the market, because the U.S. is not in control of the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. has lost the war in Iran. He said it. The other guy said it earlier. Richard Wolff said it. And we don't have any control. So the only thing that he can do, because he has midterm elections coming up, is to make it appear as the economy did not get hit that bad. Meanwhile, in India and other countries, they're starving for fertilizer. They're huge gas lines. Guess what? The U.S., we're going to get touched very soon, y'all, very soon. And the people that, and a lot of these Edomites are leaving this country. People are getting citizenship in other countries. It is going to get hard. And this is what he's saying. Read on. Play on.
Just like living in this propaganda moment here. I want to get your take on something else that you and your team have been doing. And this is, you guys have been recreating. This is not something we planned on talking about.
But I told you the wrong timestamp. That's good. You did follow orders for that. Now, so y'all check that out, because what's going on is they are inflating the market, and it's not really. So go to number. I'm going to come back to 12, okay? But I want to go. This is our Professor Morandi. He's going to give an update on Iran and what is Iran's position as they go through the memorandum of understanding. Is Iran shaking in their boots? Do they have any cards at the table of negotiation? What is really going on with Iran? This guy, remember, Professor Morandi used to represent the Iranian government. They trust this guy, and he was a negotiator years ago, and now he's a professor of English studies in Tehran, and he has other. He's very sought after. He's on all type of news station. He was on the George Galloway show, all over the world. He's sought after. All right. They also had a hit out on him because of the way he was speaking. Watch what he says about the position of Iran and what they're prepared to do. This is pretty heavy. Play on. There's no time. Just play the whole video, please.
Well, the betrayal of the Lebanese government with regards to the people of Lebanon and Lebanese sovereignty aside, what Michael has said is absolutely correct. No one should be under any illusion that the United States has any intention to fulfill its obligations. And this is something that the Lebanese government should have taken into consideration before they capitulated everything to the Israeli regime, because the Israeli regime will not only take everything if it could.
Pause. And here's as Michael pointed out earlier, in 2025, the IDF came, they sprayed a graffiti on the man's home, and they pulled and derooted a fruit tree from the man's yard. And then later, a year and a half later, they came back and razed the whole town. They obliterated and destroyed the whole town. So what he's saying, we have proof. We all can see what he's saying. Play on.
Take everything that it has, but it will in future take much more. But Iran is not going to back down on the issue of Lebanon. And as I've said earlier, the Iranians have the leverage. And Iran is prepared for war. The Iranian armed forces have been preparing themselves ever since the ceasefire. Iran is building more missiles, more drones, more advanced missiles and drones. Iran is building more underground bases. It is building up its strategic reserves. As you know, Iran has exported large quantities of products through the Strait of Hormuz, oil and other oil-related products over the past couple of weeks, which will allow Iran to strengthen its economy, but also its armed forces and its allies across the region. And so Iran is preparing itself for all scenarios. If the United States fails to implement the deal, the Strait of Hormuz will not be
Pause.
open.
And we don't have the time to do it right now. We went over the memorandum of understanding. In the first the first week, they broke number one.
In the meantime, what's your...
So, yeah, you know what? I'm glad. Go right to that. What was that number? Whatever you just played was exactly what I wanted. I forget what number it was. Yes. Yes, number 12. Also about the U.S.'s position. This is from Breaking Points. Is a man named Trita Parsi. He's from the Quincy Institute. It's timestamp 324. We're almost done.
Diplomacy is sabotaged. Also want to point out one thing. Part of the reason why oil prices never went up as high as they could have during this war was because by pure happenstance, the inventory of oil globally was extremely high. So if the
Put it
idea
in
is
perspective, this is very important y'all understand this. That means India, China, Mongolia, all these Pakistan, Singapore, India, they all had high amounts in their countries, right? That's not the case anymore. He's making that point. Now, remember, it takes a long time for these shipments of oil to get from the Persian Gulf all the way across the earth, right? And then it takes time to process it and refine it. Now he's saying that now we're in a position where if they don't resolve this war, right, you're going to see some real problems. Remember, from the oil comes fertilizers, and fertilizer is a big thing where people are lacking in these countries. So keep that in mind. Before this Strait of Hormuz was shut down, there was a global surplus of oil and oil-related products in all of these major countries. And people are not talking about that. And we just showed 2 videos before, Donald Trump and the U.S. government is depleting its surplus down and dwindling down and showing a gas price that is not reflective of the true what it should be.
Cap,
bring it out.
5 people that don't understand what's going on. They have to replenish what they're using right now.
Exactly.
And they ain't gonna get it from right here in the U.S. They desperately need the Strait of Hormuz open. They need it. You lost in Iraq. They said it. You lost in Iraq. Look at all the resources you used over there. You lost in Afghanistan. Look at all the resources you used fighting that war. And now you're fighting somebody else, and you're using, because them C-130s, them things, they burn JPA. They call it they burn diesel fuel, which is oil based. You're losing a lot of your fuel that you don't have right now.
And Officer Michael, one of the things that they're not able to use either is the oil that's from Venezuela.
There you go.
Yep. Right, because that takes
refineries.
years and years and years
Right.
to produce that to be usable, like
Right.
you said. That's a
Yes,
hell of
sir.
a point. Hell of a point. Then we need another whole hour. But let's go back to that video.
I can, in some ways, improve on that situation. I think it might be actually difficult because it was extremely high in the first place, and we still had a major oil shock and increase of prices. And again, the Iranians never went after the infrastructure of oil in the Persian Gulf
And
states in a manner that
pause. This is where Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and they will try to have you believing that America has leverage. They have no leverage. Let me tell you why. There's two things that the Iranians, we've covered before, Professor Chi talked about it. There's two things that they did not take to the maximum capacity. One is they didn't hit the desalination plants in the GCC countries, which is Qatar, Kuwait, like they could have. You want to know why? Because those are Arabs and Muslims, and believe it, the Iranians actually have a heart. They don't want to destroy the people of the land. And they also could have hit the refineries in Qatar, Kuwait, Iraq. And if you hit the refineries, the world economy is going to be hit. So, let me tell you why. Because, yes, you have oil in Canada. Yes, you have oil in parts of Russia and things of that nature. But the oil that is on top, if you go to this, if you type in a video, don't do it now, and you go, say, Saudi Arabia and dig a hole in the desert, the oil is so abundant there. You can dig a hole in certain parts of and oil just comes up. It is that profound. It is that profound in the Middle East. It is very easy to get out and process. They have great infrastructure there to make it happen so quickly. That's why so much is riding on this Strait of Hormuz. Why do I say all that? Because if Iran takes the missile technology that it had, that remember it shot one missile, came up, boom, 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 like the Arisnik, and it broke through Israeli defenses, and it did a scatter munitions and bombed the hell out of the Israeli cities, right? If it uses that with just conventional warheads, I'm not talking about nuclear warheads, conventional, it will blow up every single one of those refineries, and it will take them decades to rebuild it. If they did, and that's a card they have. Pull up a map of the Persian Gulf. Trump has no, you're getting a masquerade. It's a complete, it's a fallacy. It's
smoke and mirrors.
That's what it is. I'm lost for words. It is a smoke and they are depleting the U.S. coffers of diesel and gasoline to show a image that's not really there. That's smoke and mirrors.
You remember when Trump told Zelensky, you don't hold the cards.
Yes.
You don't have the cards.
You know, he always says
don't have the cards now.
Fake news. It's fake. What he's doing right now is fake news.
Right.
It's fake news. He's telling everybody, yeah, gas prices are great. In reality, it's fake news.
And he goes to the whitest part of America, North Dakota, with the guys in the back with cowboy hats. Not 1, 2, 3 black people in the whole audience, because that's his base. That's some of the ones that still kind of believe in him. That's why he went to North Dakota. But a lot of these other people in these, like Denver, Colorado, and other places, these these AIPAC-sponsored Republicans are losing elections. That's the division that's going on right now. You're spending tens and tens of billions of dollars annually to fight wars proxy wars that another government starts, and we have to finish. Afghanistan was started by them. Iraq was started by them. This Iran is started by them. Them meaning the Zionist Israelis who Netanyahu has been in. A lot of these Edomites are waking up and saying, and a lot of these Edomites are Jewish that are standing up against these Zionists. So how can, we're anti-Semitic because we're saying things that Jewish people are saying. Interesting. Yes. Perfect. Okay. What did I want to pull this up for? I'm getting tired, man.
We're talking about the Persian Gulf and how easy it is
for the
Thank
oil
you very
in
much.
Iran. So let's look at Iran. So if you look at the GCC countries, right, the Persian Gulf, the whole coast is on Iran. Half of it is Iran. And then the Gulf of Oman as well. Kuwait, Iraq, Syria for that matter, Jordan, anywhere in Saudi Arabia, anywhere in Qatar, Bahrain, UAE, anywhere in that whole area, they can shoot ballistic missiles and blow up. And they got satellite imagery from China and Russia. And they have drones as well. They can send drones, unmanned aerial TNT and all that, bombs and munitions, and they can blow the hell out of all of the refineries in Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain. Just like Richard Wolff was saying, the American empire is on the downturn. And Donald Trump, in his grandiose, his great speeches, he knows he is on the last leg of the U.S. And this is why he's trying to fortify the whole Western Hemisphere. I want Canada. I want Greenland. I want a Don Road doctrine. And he's really trying to do that because he's going to have to isolate the West, because this right here is Iran's region now. China is not too far away. Russia is not too far away. They can get to each other by train. They're running the show. And the American media has you believing that they're not. Okay? Go back to that. We're going to finish out very quickly. It was it a video, right? I'm sorry. What was just that? I can't blame the tech guys. It was the remember it was number 12, breaking points. I think we had a couple minutes left. Or did we finish that? Okay.
Manner that they could have, which was one of the cards that they kept to their close to their chest. They could have played it if there was further escalation. So if the idea is that some way, somehow, because of the MOU, the United States is going to be in a much better position to launch a war that militarily will be more successful than the previous one, color me skeptic. I don't think the U.S. has that option, even if the inventory of oil is restocked.
And this is exactly what we wanted to ask you about next. We can put B2 up on the screen. Trita, professor of the University of Tehran, Sayed Marandi, responded to the Michael Knowles interview that J.D. Vance.
And I'm going to stop here. We just showed you Mr. Marandi's speech. That's what he said the same thing here. That video that he did is getting talked about all over because people are starting to realize, wait a minute. What if the U.S. media is wrong? What if they're telling us the wrong things? Because they got this guy saying that Iran is ready for war, and they're not being taught that. Excuse me. Last one. Do we have Scott Ritter? I think we have Scott Ritter. Actually, you know what? Before Scott Ritter, did we get redacted? Oh, we didn't get redacted. We got redacted. I think we got everything. No, number 6. We didn't do number 6. Here's an example of unity, because you have 2 of the BRICS nations that are working together. It's an article from Reuters. Number 6. Russia buys gasoline from India.
Reuters. Russia buys gasoline from India to tackle shortages, sources say. At least 60,000 metric tons shipped from India, 2 sources says. Russian fuel shortage has led to rationing. QS prices spike. July 1st, Russia has started seaborne imports of gasoline from India. 2 industry sources said on Wednesday, in an effort to mitigate fuel shortages triggered by Ukrainian attacks on its energy infrastructure. Fuel shortages are being felt across Russia's 11 time zones.
Hey, that tells you how big Russia is. Think about that. The U.S., we have Eastern time, we have Central time, we have Mountain time, and we have Pacific. We got 4 time zones. Yeah. Russia has 11? I don't know. I didn't even know that. That tells you the magnitude of Russia. Read on.
Fuel shortages are being felt across Russia's 11 time zones, with rationing, long QS at filling stations, and a record gasoline price increase. The Reuters.
Let me take over real quick, son. I'm going to see what it says. The Kremlin. The Kremlin said on Tuesday that Russia was in contact with other countries in discussing imports of fuel at acceptable prices. Why am I going here? Because these nations that were sanctioned by the U.S., they're all working together. And that's what we're not being told. Not only are the cards off the table when it comes to the United States, they don't control that region. Richard Wolff told you the American empire is in decline. Furthermore, it shows you that the sanctions that the U.S. is putting in these countries, they're going around them. They're going around them. Scroll down. Scroll down. Let me see. Okay, scroll down a little bit higher. Scroll up. I'm sorry, scroll up. Stop right there. Right there. I'll read it. Russian oil accounted for more than half of India's overall imports in June, up from 6.5% in May. So Russia is actually, wait a minute, half of India's overall imports. India importing. So India is getting its shortages from Russia. Okay, that's what I want. India, the world's third largest oil importer. So it gets a third of its oil. No, I'm sorry. That means I think China's number one. I don't know number two is. Received 2.7 million barrels per day of oil from Russia in June. So it just shows you that India is the third huge importer, and Russia is still able to supply certain demands. And this is the thing. The world economy is a lot more than the U.S. and other countries who have millions and millions, billions of people are making things happen. We got to take our head out of American media. It's not what it's, we're receiving the wrong impression. And what's going to happen is once oil prices get up to a certain level and we have more problems because he is in subject to Israel, Trump, is they're not going to yield. They're going to keep fighting Lebanon, which goes against the memorandum of understanding. They're going to keep fighting Iran, doing coups and try to assassinate. And because of that, Iran is going to now escalate it if they don't follow that MOU, right? Memorandum of Understanding. Long story short is this. As the oil stops going through, Iran could say this. India ships you go through. Russia ships you can go through. Israeli, U.S., you can't go through. Our gas prices, you're going to find, and I really hope I'm wrong, we're going to be $5 a gallon, which is where we're at, about $2 more, and it's going to even go higher. And you're going to see a lot of unrest in the stores. You thought COVID was bad when you couldn't get toilet paper, you couldn't get meat. When you thought that was bad, it's going to get a lot worse. And I didn't have enough time. They're saying it's going to happen by October. So Bishop Nathaniel, the bishops of IUIC have been telling us for years, prepare for things to come. It's going to, just imagine if gas is $6 a gallon. You have to balance between I got to eat, pay my light bill, or go here. Things are going to be cut off. People are not going to be able to afford cars. They're not going to go out to dinner. Restaurants are going to close down. They're not going to the movies. They're not going to have extra time, extra money to do the things that they want to do. You're going to see a major change. And what it's down 20 cents since last week. That's a facade. They're draining the U.S. gas and oil reserves. That's why the economists said if they get below a certain, it's a dangerous level. It's happening right now. And all this is a facade. So keep that in mind, y'all. Bring it out.
Hey, Cap, our people don't understand, too, like in certain times when like storms hit, because like here in New Orleans, we have something called as hurricane season. When power goes out in like major places like hospitals, they have backup generators that kick on. Those generators run on oil products. Yeah. Right. If you can't fuel those generators, guess what? Those machines that for people in intensive care units, when babies are first born, they have equipment that powers those.
Yep.
You can't have those things running if you can't afford to put the fuel in those machines.
That's a hell of a point. People are going to die. Yeah. And when you see these things that are coming, remember in Germany, post World War I and leading into World War II, if you ever study the history of Germany, there was a time when Germans were going down the street with wheelbarrows full of money to purchase food. The U.S. dollar, when it does not go into the petrodollar anymore and they begin to trade in yen like they've been doing, and the more and more countries trade with each other in cut the U.S. dollar out, you're going to find that our money's worth a lot less. We have less international buying power, which makes our whole market and industry. And by the way, all the jobs that Trump says we were going to bring here, all the manufacturing, where is it? Where are all these jobs at? So we're going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. And this country, like Richard Wolff said, we're going down. This country is going down. This is why we got to be ready, man. We got to really work together and practice preferring each other now. Y'all don't get into debt. I mean, buying these big extravagant houses is not wise. Buying these cars that you can, if you can afford a car, you can afford, that's one thing. But you have to be mindful. There's going to be a time when we're, as Israel, my name's Israel, your name's Israel, you're going to be an easy mark to get you out of a job or into a job because you're labeled. And so others amongst us who are in better positions, just like Acts 2 and Acts 4, you're going to have to do more. There's going to come a time when we're going to have to help it. You're going to have to do more. So if you can buy land, buy land. Learn how to do agriculture a way that's going to be sustainable. Learn how to build. I just met a brother from up north, came down and helped us out with a project. This guy's awesome. Brother knows how to build houses and do great things. We need people to build houses, to build infrastructure, to be agricultural experts so we can have fruit trees and chickens and quails and dig ponds. This is going to be needed. And when this happens and gas is so high, you have to choose between this bill and getting to work. And this, if we don't work together, we're not going to make it. So this class is supposed to be an eye-opener that the dragon is being divided. And as long as the U.S. continues to follow Aipac and their route, it's going to continue to happen. And the reality is it's not going to stop. It's going to have to happen. So we have to prepare. So right at 11:46, brothers, we had a little bit more. Actually, I think we got through everything. Brothers, anything else you want to bring out? Please bring it. I've been talking too long. My head hurts.
Well, I do want.
Go ahead.
Trump earlier, we watched the video. He said that the biggest threat is communism to the United States. When you look at India, India's not in particular a communist country. It's so-called a democratic country, but within their democracy, they have communist parties that are active in their government. They operate with Russia, and they operate with China, who are communists. And when he says communism is the threat to the United States, it's that code word for BRICS, because those all three are BRICS countries.
Wow.
And they're right now operating and trading with each other. Like they just brought gas from India. They're showing you that they don't need the United States for anything.
Right.
And to your point about that petrodollar, once that petrodollar is obsolete, the rest of the money's obsolete.
Right.
And that's what he's talking about when he says communism.
Remember, Professor Chi said that the American dollar is a Ponzi scheme based upon printing more Federal Reserve notes to back up something that has no backup. Meaning when Nixon ixnayed the gold standard, there was no back. It was the American might and the promise to pay U.S. treasuries that made it so attractive. But as China, the number one manufacturer, it's right behind the U.S. It's supposed to be the world's number 2 economy. But the amount of export that they have, and when you look at the GDP of BRICS, like Officer Mikhail said, it's more than the G7. So the communist bulk of countries, which is China and Russia, right? India being what you just mentioned, those countries in the BRICS family, if you will, have more gross domestic product, significantly more. It's like 11, 12% more than the G7 countries. Those are all the European countries of the U.S. and all more. So these are economists saying this. So the economists that are putting these, mostly are Edomites, they are admitting the U.S. is falling. Babylon is falling, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, real quick, I wanted to mention just 17 years ago, I was in Germany, and we were using what they call the Deutschmark.
Okay.
Right? And the Deutschmark at that time, it was 2 to 1. So we would get 2 of their currency to one of ours, and times before that, it was actually, they was getting more. And when Cap brought up the idea, you was mentioning about how they was bringing barrels of their money so they could buy food. Of course, whenever, our money is worth more than theirs, like when I was in Kyrgyzstan, we were getting ours, I forgot what the ratio was. I think it was like 3 to 1, 3 or 4 to 1 or something like that. And so they would try to basically, scam us out of, money because our currency was worth more than theirs. But now, being on the decline, and this was just 17 years ago in Germany, and about a little less than 10 years ago in Kyrgyzstan, that's a big difference, a major difference in the exchange
we
rate.
are going to see it. Go ahead, Michael, bring it up.
Oh, no, I had that, Cap.
So, look, anybody else? We getting late. It's 11:50. I hope y'all got something out of the show. We know it's late. It's almost 2 in the morning over in New York. We appreciate, it's actually almost 1 in the morning. We appreciate y'all. Share the link. And just keep your mind on, don't believe everything you hear in the media. It's wrong. It's wrong. Check out the Booster Club. Donate as you see fit. Text GIVE to 646-982-3858. Also, click that PayPal link and send as the Lord moves your spirits to the Booster Club. So we can 12 tribes worldwide. We going all over this, brothers in missions right now, and will continue to be because the spirits like you and him and her at home. So we appreciate you. So with that, hey, we're right on time. With that, we're precept upon precept, and we say
Shalom.
You're never going to see this on any mainstream news.
This ain't what you want, this is what you need. Ain't never forget. Yeah, they made us slaves, hung our kids from trees. I never forget. Nooses on our neck, whipped us till we bleed. And they gotta get it. Hey man, call it Galatians 3:13.
You're now tuned in to Precept Upon Precept.
Crew so strange. Look at how low they hang. Oh man, took out the chains. So when the wind blow, we just swing. Much oppression, never kill 'em. Breaking dreams, that is bitter.